LA Knight is currently tearing up the WWE, but the only thing Kevin Nash is doing is tearing his quad, sitting at home, being infuriated by LA Knight. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and we've got some news here regarding Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and he is not happy with LA Knight. He has accused LA Knight of being a ripoff. Yes, a ripoff. Kevin Nash isn't too pleased about what LA Knight is currently doing, and he spoke about it on his podcast. Yeah. But let's talk about what LA Knight actually said here to get Kevin Nash tearing up those old 60-odd year quads. So, regarding a promo on Raw in the lead up to Money in the Bank, LA Knight said the following to Logan Paul while holding a piece of paper. So he had a piece of paper and he says to Logan Paul, quote, "If you follow this, you'll find the exact directions for where you can stick each and every one of those bottles of Prime." End of quote. I don't see much wrong with that. Basically telling him you can shove those Prime bottles up your ass. Now, this was Kevin Nash's response to this promo when he criticised it on his podcast. Quote, "Am I the only one that sees like an absolute rip-off of The Rock to the point where when he cut the promo on fucking Logan Paul, or whatever the fuck his name is, the only thing that he didn't do is turn the motherfucker sideways? Jesus Christ, does everybody have amnesia? There's nothing original." End of quote. So, I mean, let's talk about a few things here. First thing I want to talk about is telling somebody to shove something up their ass, is that reserved?
The Rock.
Yeah, is that reserved for The Rock? Was The Rock the first person in the world to tell somebody to shove something up their ass? And is he the only person that can use that? Because I am willing to bet that Stone Cold, Triple H, John Cena, I'm willing to bet that at least once in their WWE careers, they've told somebody to shove something up their ass.
Yeah, and this is just being very critical here for Kevin Nash. I'm sure he's even fucking said it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Nash and WCW...
You know, he's obviously got a beef with him, because this is getting picked out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, to basically say that as soon as you tell someone tells somebody to shove something up their ass, that's stealing The Rock stuff, then that's...
It's not like you went, wow.
What LA Knight is smoking. And he didn't do...
sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that, so I think Kevin Nash here must have a legitimate issue with
What about
LA
all
Knight?
the fucking marks in Japan? Bullet Club Gold Day and Too Sweet. Obviously, say something about that, Nash.
Yeah, that is complete ripping off.
But no, let's pick on LA Knight.
I don't think he's ever talked about that or addressed that. Maybe he doesn't even know who those guys are. In fairness, that's probably more likely. But look, I do think LA Knight has mannerisms that reminds me of The Rock. When he speaks, I kind of get Rock feelings. But is that a bad thing? We've legit got a guy here in wrestling that we're comparing to the fucking Rock, and that's supposed to be a negative thing? Well, so I'd rather have LA Knight, a guy that we're comparing to The Rock, than have, like, Adam Cole, someone that we just compare to every other indie midget bum.
Yeah, is this all Nash said, though? He didn't even elaborate.
Well, he's got the whole podcast. If you want to go and listen to it.
Yeah, Kevin Nash, I'm not listening to your podcast, man. I don't understand. No, he must have a beef with him. He must have did something to him in TNA. Would they cross paths?
No, I mean, Nash hasn't worked in TNA for a long time.
So what do you think's happened here? Is it because he doesn't like The Rock, and he's seen a guy rip him off The Rock, and he's like, oh, I wish they ripped off me. I like when they did Too Sweet thing, not Dwayne. Ever since he made that diesel locomotive sound to me, my fucking arse dropped like my quads. I think since that day, Nash has hated The Rock.
Possibly. But then again, I think that if that was the case, if it was because he doesn't like The Rock, I reckon Kevin Nash would be praising this guy, going, oh, he's better than The Rock, or he does this better than The Rock, or something like this or that. But I don't know, to completely bash the guy and call him a rip-off, really? We're going to call LA Knight a rip-off when this guy actually oozes charisma. And he looks like a fucking star, and yet Kevin Nash's problem, out of everybody on the roster, his problem is this guy told Logan Paul to shove something up his arse.
Yeah. Like, even if you read the quote for LA Knight, it doesn't really sound similar to The Rock.
It doesn't. He's just told him that if you follow this, You'll find the directions. You can stick each in every one of those bottles of Prime. I just don't see where The Rock reserved any sort of claim to having full 100% ownership of shoving things up people's arses.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Nash is just too much red wine for him today, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't see why he's bashing LA Knight. And again, I tell you what, if LA Knight, if the problem is this guy's ripping off The Rock and this guy is being compared to The Rock, then that's probably one of the best problems that WWE have. I wish... can we get somebody that is ripping off Stone Cold? Can we get somebody that's ripping off The Undertaker?
Exactly.
Can we get someone that is reminding you of all these other legends? Because, you know what? LA Knight being compared to The Rock is probably the best thing WWE has going for it.
Maybe Triple H was going to let this guy win and Nash funded him. Don't work for me, Hunter. Fuck
Could be. But no, I just can't believe that the biggest problem, apparently, in Nash's mind, that this guy reminds him of The Rock. And that's a problem.
That's a great thing.
That's a fucking problem.
What are the comments saying? What are the Redditors saying about Kevin Nash, baby?
I mean, what does that mean? Ricochet's just ripping off every other guy that does flips and flies and super kicks?
Exactly.
Based on Nash's. You know what? Maybe it's a bit of jealousy. I've seen people say that Nash is just jealous and that he criticises a lot of stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Nash looks at LA Knight and he thinks, you know what? This guy actually has something. So yeah.
I'm just a tiger driving 901.
There you go. If you want to check out Kevin Nash's podcast, then you can go and do it. I actually do not watch it. I don't listen to it. I just don't like Sean Oliver. I think the guy was great when he was doing his whole YouTube wrestling shoots, but I don't know, something's changed since then. He's turned into a big, massive liberal, and anytime there's anything remotely controversial, he cries and bitches and throws his toys out the pram. So yeah.
Oh, fuck him and Kevin Nash.
I've no real interest in listening to Sean Oliver. But yeah, Kevin Nash, like the guy, definitely a legend, no doubt about it. But I think he's barking up the wrong tree here. I can't believe that he thinks there's a problem and he's bashing LA Knight for being compared to The Rock. I can't believe it, guys. Somebody in 2023 is actually being compared to Dwayne Johnson, and it's a bad thing according to Kevin Nash.
That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.